Contingent as noun, a condition or circumstance that determines or influences the outcome of something. A group of people, often military personnel, sent to a place for a specific purpose. The military sent a contingent of soldiers to provide aid after the natural disaster. The business sent a contingent of employees to attend the conference. The sports team brought a contingent of fans to cheer them on at the away game. The music festival invited a contingent of international artists to perform. The political party formed a contingent of supporters to canvass for votes. Eclecticas no. A person who draws from a variety of sources in their work or approach. An individual who selects elements from a wide range of sources or styles. She was known in the art world as an eclectic, constantly experimenting with different mediums and styles. The literary magazine was edited by a team of eclectics, each with their own unique perspective on what made a great story. The eclectic of the group was tasked with finding a restaurant that would satisfy everyone's tastes. The band's eclectic was responsible for choosing the set list for the concert. The group's eclectic made sure that their travel itinerary included something for everyone, from historical landmarks to trendy cafes. Exiguity as noun. The condition of being scanty or inadequate. The state or quality of being extremely small or limited in size or amount. The exiguity of the food supply was a major concern for the refugees. The exiguity of the budget meant that we had to be very careful with our spending. The house's small size and exiguity made it unsuitable for a family of 5. The exiguity of evidence meant that the case was dismissed. The poem's beauty lay in its brevity and exiguity. Flush as noun. A reddening of the skin, especially in the face, caused by increased blood flow. A sudden rush or surge, especially of emotions or adrenaline. She won the poker game with a royal flush, much to the disappointment of her opponents. She had a sudden flush of embarrassment when she realized she had been talking about the wrong person. He noticed a flush in his cheeks after running up the stairs. The toilet wouldn't stop running, so he checked the flush to see if it was the problem. The sudden flush of water from the fire hydrant surprised the children playing nearby. Pedestrian as noun. A person traveling by foot rather than by car, bicycle, or other mode of transportation. A person who is walking, especially on a sidewalk or in a public place. The new bike lanes were designed to separate pedestrians from cyclists. The busy street was filled with pedestrians during rush hour. The pedestrian was hit by a car while crossing the street. The city installed new crosswalks to make it safer for pedestrians to cross the road. The driver failed to yield to the pedestrians in the crosswalk. Sanction as noun. A measure imposed by a government or international body to enforce compliance or punish disobedience. Official authorization or approval for an action or decision. The country faced economic sanctions for violating human rights. The teacher imposed sanctions on the student for cheating. The United Nations imposed sanctions on the country for its nuclear program. The athlete faced sanctions for using performance-enhancing drugs. The company received sanctions for violating environmental regulations. Tact is noun. A keen sense of what to do or say in order to maintain good relations with others. The ability to deal with difficult or delicate situations in a way that does not offend or upset others. The diplomat used tact to negotiate a peace agreement. She demonstrated great tact by avoiding a potentially sensitive topic. The manager handled the situation with tact and avoided any conflict. The politician used tact to persuade voters to support their campaign. The customer service representative showed tact by patiently addressing the customer's complaints. Variance as noun, a degree of variation or diversity within a particular group or population. A difference or deviation between two or more things, often measured or expressed numerically. The data showed a significant variance from the expected results. The variance in temperature between night and day was quite extreme. The company's profits were affected by variance in currency exchange rates. The research found a high degree of variance in the responses of study participants. The building plans had to be revised to meet local zoning variances. Apex is noun, the highest point of achievement or development, the highest point or summit of something. The apex of the mountain offers a breathtaking view of the valley below. The athlete reached the apex of his career when he won the gold medal at the Olympics. The company reached the apex of its success when it became a Fortune 500 company. The apex predator in the ecosystem is usually the top of the food chain. The apex of the pyramid is the most important part of the structure. Incense is noun, a substance that produces a fragrant aroma when burned, used in religious or spiritual ceremonies, something that strongly irritates or angers someone. The room was filled with the sweet smell of incense. The incense smoke wafted through the air and left a lingering scent. The priest burned incense during the religious ceremony. She lit the incense to create a relaxing atmosphere in the room. He bought a variety of incense to try different fragrances. Proficiency, a great quantity or flow, especially of a particular substance. An abundance or excessive amount of something, often in a lavish or generous manner. The museum contained a profusion of beautiful artwork. The garden was filled with a profusion of colorful flowers. The writer's work was characterized by a profusion of ideas. The market had a profusion of fresh produce. The internet has made a profusion of information available to us. A person who betrays their country by collaborating with an enemy, often for personal gain or to retain power. A traitor or collaborator, especially someone who cooperates with an enemy occupying force against their own country or group. The term traitor was often used to describe the Quisling during wartime. History books remember him as a notorious Quisling who collaborated with the enemy. He was branded a Quisling for his betrayal of his own country. The public viewed her as a Quisling after her controversial actions. His actions were seen as those of a Quisling, abandoning his principles for personal gain. Semblance as noun, an outward appearance or form that is deceptive or misleading. An outward appearance or form that resembles or suggests something. The political speech was full of semblance, but lacked substance and concrete proposals. The town had a semblance of normalcy after the storm, with power and communication restored. The actor maintained a semblance of composure even in the face of criticism and controversy. The painting captured the semblance of the subject's personality and emotions. The group tried to restore some semblance of order to the chaotic situation. Apathy is noun, absence or suppression of passion, emotion, or excitement. Lack of interest or emotion, indifference. The apathy of the citizens towards social issues is a cause for concern. The student's apathy towards learning affected his academic performance. The company's apathy towards its employees resulted in a high turnover rate. The government's apathy towards the needs of the homeless population led to an increase in the number of people living on the streets. The general apathy towards climate change is hindering efforts to combat it. Atavism as noun. The reappearance of a characteristic or trait in an organism that has been absent in recent ancestors. The reversion to an earlier type or characteristic, especially a genetic trait. The appearance of a genetic trait that was absent in the family for generations is called an atavism, a throwback to an earlier ancestry. The revival of an outdated fashion trend is sometimes called an atavism, a return to a style from the past. The aggression of a domesticated animal towards humans or other animals is sometimes attributed to an atavism, a re-emergence of their wild instincts. The love for hunting and gathering among some modern people can be seen as an atavism, a connection to our early human history. The presence of the tailbone in humans is considered an atavism, a remnant of our primate ancestors. Banality as noun. A trite or unoriginal remark or situation. The commonness or ordinary nature of something. The movie's script was full of banalities, with the characters speaking in predictable and cliched ways. The book was criticized for its banality, with reviewers noting that it offered nothing new or interesting. The product was criticized for its banality, with consumers noting that it offered nothing new or exciting. The artist's work was criticized for its banality, with some critics noting that it lacked any real depth or meaning. The advertising campaign was criticized for its banality, with many viewers noting that it failed to capture their attention or imagination. Catalyst as noun. A person or thing that precipitates or stimulates a particular event or process. Something or someone that causes or speeds up a change, action, or event. The protests served as a catalyst for social change, leading to widespread reforms. The Internet acted as a catalyst for the rapid dissemination of information. The invention of the printing press was a catalyst for the spread of knowledge and the Renaissance. The introduction of smartphones was a catalyst for the transformation of the telecommunications industry. The scientific breakthrough acted as a catalyst for advancements in medical research and treatments. Endemic as noun. A disease or condition that is regularly found and consistently present in a particular geographic location or population. A plant or animal species that is native to and restricted to a particular geographical area. The endemic of poverty in the region was a major concern for policymakers. The study aimed to understand the causes of the endemic of malaria in the area. The scientist was surprised to discover an endemic of a previously unknown species in the remote forest. The endemic of corruption in the government had eroded public trust in the political system. The endemic of obesity in the country was attributed to a lack of access to healthy food options. Erratic as noun. A boulder or rock that differs from the surrounding rock and was transported by glacial action to a location different from its place of origin. The coach benched the player for his erratic performance during the game. The company fired the employee for being an erratic worker who couldn't meet deadlines. The erratic of the compass caused them to lose their way in the dense forest. The captain's erratic steering put the ship in danger of hitting the rocks. The politician's erratic behavior and erratic decisions led to his downfall. Hail as noun. A greeting or expression of goodwill. Precipitation in the form of small balls or pieces of ice. The hail was so large that it caused damage to cars and buildings. The storm brought hail that covered the ground like snow. The hail came down so hard it was difficult to see. The farmer was worried about the hail damaging his crops. The Weather Service issued a warning for severe hail in the area. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.